hiyo quality ni noma. Hatari.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible enough. Let me get a reaction if I'm audible. Good evening and hello, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me. Thank you. Welcome, everyone, to the One Agenda Strategic Positioning in the Digital Age webinar, a collaborative effort by the FALAS Kenya and the FALAS West Africa Directorate, featuring the African Union. I'm Tracy Mwangala, the FALAS Women Forum representative Kenya. I'll be your moderator today. And welcome. We'll give some 10 minutes or rather 5 to allow other participants to join. While you're in the chat, you can say where you're coming from so that we can know where you're joining from. Thank you.
participants to receive and engage meaningfully, that this webinar would not only inform but also transform, equipping each participant to take bold steps in positioning Africa in the digital age. We also pray for smooth connections, order, and excellence in every part of this program. Above all,
With that, ladies and gentlemen, I declare this 1 million next level agenda interregional wide webinar open. Ashate, thank you.
Thank you so much, our Regional Director West Africa, for your insightful input. Seeing that our speakers are on board, I would like to introduce them. Then later on, they shall add anything that I might have left out. So, Madam Esther Anagu and Mr. Robin, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good evening from here.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Mr.
Sorry, I need to. Okay. Yeah, you can go on, please.
Yeah, sure. I'll give a brief introduction, then later on you might come up and say what else I might have left out. Mr. Robin, you can just confirm your attendance.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. I'm glad to be here today. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you and welcome. I'll start by our first panelist, Madam Esther Anagu. She's a data analyst and a data scientist in one of our prestigious banks in Nigeria, with a strong focus on business intelligence, customer analytics, and digital engagement. With hands-on experience in delivering data-driven strategies, Esther helped organizations unlock insightful from complex data transforming raw numbers into clear, actionable narratives that supports growth and improve customer retention. And that also optimizes market effort. Her work spans across customer segmentation, cohort analysis, and digital product performance, and a campaign optimizing that shaped product design and also improved service delivery. She's an informed strategic decision. She's a strategic decisioner and also a passionate trainer. She brings this real-world experience into the classroom. Esther is known for ability to simplify technical and tech professions on how to leverage business and marketing insights using Excel, a powerful BL tool. Her sessions are hands-on, practical, and also enable participants to build skills that are immediately applicable on the job. With a blend of technological depth and business skills, she has business skills. Esther is committed to helping professionals become confident in decision makers through smart use of data. Next, we have Mr. Robin Mutiga. Mr. Robin Mutiga is a legal technologist and AI consultant at the forefront of transforming how law is practiced in Kenya. Driven by the vision of modernizing the profession, he helps law firm and legal institutions embrace technology to deliver faster, more and coefficient and client-centered services. Currently holding at Kidwaka and Company Advocates, Robin is leading the firm's digitalization journey by building an in-house legal practice management, introducing automation, and remaining client relationship management. His expertise spans AI-powered legal research, workflow automation, and no-code system that help firms stay competitive in this digital era. Robin has been recognized as a thought leader in legal innovation, recently invited to train the Kenyan Magistrate and Judges Associate at the Judges Quorum 2025 on the role of AI in the judiciary, and to address the pupil masters at the Kenya School of Law on pupillage in the age of AI. He is also the center of IFAM on a no-code legal practice management suite for efficient and affordable farm operation, and Sharia Search and AI-powered legal research platform that streamline the case preparation. Robin sold an LLB from Catholic University of East Africa, and he has completed his postgraduate studies at the Kenya School of Law. Beyond, beyond practice, he continues to advocate for AI adoption in the legal sector. And that being said, I'll invite Madam Esther to add on anything that I would have left out. Then Mr. Robin shall follow.
Okay, hello once again, everyone. Am I to give my speech now to talk about the subject matter, or I don't know what exactly you want me to add to it?
Not really, just to give a brief introduction if there's anything that I've left out.
No, I'm not sure you left anything out. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. To Mr. Rubin, is there anything that I've left out?
No, not particularly, but I'd just like to add that speaking in such engagements is a key of my of the passions I have, especially to young professionals. And I think I want to thank Falas for this timely discussion and organizing this event. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. We can give a virtual applause for our speakers. Thank you. I'll guide the discussion by posing a question, or rather some questions to our panelists. And I'll start by Madam Esther Anagu. In that today's discussion dwells on the 1 million agenda and strategically positioning Africa into the digital area. How can data analysts empower 1 million Africa to participate in the digital economy, especially in undeserved regions? That's to you, Madam Esther.
Okay. I guess I need to show my face, at least to put a face to who is talking. Please confirm you can see my screen before I go on. What does my still see? Kindly confirm you can see my screen, and if it does not work, then I might need to continue the discussion.
You are not on yet. You are not on video yet.
Oh, okay. I said screen on video rather. Okay. I guess I would need to go on with the conversation then. Okay, so once again, good evening, everyone, and it's such a pleasure to be here with you today. Like I said, the subject matter is a very important one, and I would talk about the role of data in driving Africa's development and how we can position ourselves to the next level. Of course, that's what we are going to be doing. But before I answer that question, I would like to tell us what what data is all about, because the word data can sometimes feel like a big technical term. So it's better I simplify. Okay, I guess you can see my screen now. Sorry, you can see me now,
Yeah,
rather.
so,
Okay.
yeah, we can see you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I can see the thumbs up. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. So, like I said, before I answer that question, I would just give like a simple definition of what data is. So data can simply means information, right? They are facts, they are figures, they help us to understand what is happening and help us to make better decision. And I'm also going to give a simple picture. Imagine you are baking a cake without measuring anything. So you are just pouring, you're just guessing, you're just hoping. Sometimes the cake might turn out fine, and oftentimes it does not turn out fine. And that's what running a country, that's what running a business, and that's what even uh, your personal finance without data looks like. So if you don't really have something to back your decisions up with, right, you tend to make mistakes. And that's why data is very, very, very important in all aspects of our lives. And like I said before, data is information. So it is the little pieces of facts or figures that we collect every now and then. So even without noticing sometimes. For instance, when you buy airtime on your phone, that's data. When a hospital records your blood pressure, that's data. Even when you post, when you like a post on Instagram, that's data. And so, like I said, one piece alone may not really matter much, but when you put the two together, when you combine everything, they reveal pattern. And these patterns will help us to answer questions. These patterns will help us to solve problems. These patterns will also help us to make better decisions. And I said earlier that when you do things without really using data, just like I said before, you want to bake cake, you're just pouring, you're measuring, you don't have the figures, you don't have what you are using to measure what you're doing. It may turn out well, and most times it may not turn out well. And that's why it is very, very important for us to use data to help solve problems, because data are like dots joined together. When you join them together, you are able to answer questions, you're able to solve problems, and you're able to make better decisions. And how do you think, how can um, it help us, right? How can data help us? How can it connect to African development? We've already seen a lot of things, how data has helped us. I remember during COVID-19, data helped us to track infection, data helped us to allocate resources, data helped us to plan vaccination. And without data, leaders would have been making, they I'm sure that they would make blind decisions. And with data, they were able to make decisions. Now, how do you think data will help us? I've already listed all these things. If we don't make decisions with data, we will just be using our instincts. We will just be going without basing our decisions with evidence. And we will likely make mistake. And that is why it is very, very important for us to base whatever decisions we are using or we are making with data. And how can we ensure that our rural environment? Of course, I wanted to give some examples of how data has helped. Probably along the line, I would be listing them out. But right now, how we can do that is to educate people, is to collaborate. And that is what we are doing right now. I hear people from Kenya, I hear people from different countries apart from Nigeria. We are all here together to talk about how we can make Africa better. And I believe through all these things, through these initiatives, it will help us to be better. Thank you.
Thank you for that, for those insights. You've clearly outlined what data is all about and the importance of what data is, and simply uh, simply emphasizing that the little pieces of data are the ones that are important, and they solve problem, and people are able to allocate resources using those pieces of data. And additionally, you might add a question on how might your experience with customer segmentation and training programs support the AU's goal of bridging the digital divide. No, I think that's what the aim of the 1 million agenda is, to bridge the digital divide. So how might your experience with customer segmentation and training programs support the AU's goal? Thank you. Madam Esther, you are muted.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So, like I said, thank you very much for that question. So, as regards to segmentation, as the name implies, it helps us to segment our customers, break them down into different groups based on their common characteristics, right? So we, like I said before, we are making decisions based on data. We are not just making decisions based on the knowledge that we had before. Of course, the knowledge that we even had before or we have right now is still data, right? So rather than just making decisions anyhow, we use the decision or we use the information that we have right now. So for customer segmentation, like I said before, is segmenting customers into different groups, right? Into different clusters based on their common characteristics. This helps us to better engage with these customers. For instance, I work in a financial institution, right? And as a financial institution, we deal with customers. They send money into our accounts. We have their details. We have our apps. They make use of the bank apps. For us to better engage with them, for us to better understand the kind of customers we have, for us not to send the same communication to all these customers. And I'm going to be specific this time. So for instance, we have like 10 million customers, right? And these 10 million customers, rather than you sending information to all of them, the same information, customer segmentation will help us to know, oh, these are the customers after we've used. So I don't want to use jargons. I don't want to use technical terms so that some people will not be lost. I don't want to start talking about ML, algorithms, AI, and all those things. But then we are using, rather than using our intuition to segment the customers, to divide them into the different groups, we are using machine learning to divide them into different groups. And this will help us to now segment them to know that, oh, this customer in this group, these are the guys that are not really doing well. Okay, these customers are doing very, very well. Okay, these customers are in between. So rather than not telling everybody, okay, you are banking with us, okay, do this thing with us, okay, do this thing. No, we are saying that, oh, these guys that are doing very well, let's push a different product to them. Let's tell them that, oh, you are banking with us, you've made over 10 million transactions this year. What else how best can we serve them? Now you're looking at customers that only did 10,000 transactions, which is very, very low compared to those that did over 10 million. You are communicating with them differently. You are telling them, oh, you've made this transaction. Can you do better? Is there a way we can serve you better? Is there a way we can help your business so that you can do more transactions? Or you're looking at those that have not even done any transaction at all. The way you are going to talk to them will be different from the way you will talk to someone that does well, will be different from the way you talk to someone that is in between. Now, if you're communicating with someone that has not done transaction at all, you are telling the person, oh, we miss you. The last time you transacted was last 2 years. Can we hear from you? What are your pain points? So you can see how data helps. Ordinarily, a department will just look at the whole data and be like, okay, this one is a male customer, this one is a female customer, let's do this. Okay, this one is not on this platform, this one. No, we are not just making decisions based on intuition or whatever. So we are using a machine, we are using other tools, other data tools to help us to make decisions, to break these customers into two. Now, if Africa can you do this, if Africa can also make use of this data to make decisions, to look at the whole things that they are, AU, the AU 1 million agenda, they are trying to ensure that there is innovation. They're trying to ensure that the youths, right, they have digital skills, they are advanced and all that. Now, when all these things are they are in place, when all these things are being implemented, it will help them to also, so rather than not them just making decisions based on nothing, based on intuition, making use of data will help them to make better decisions. You know, I explained all these things before, and that's where customer segmentation, building customer segmentation has helped us to even have more customers, helped us to even communicate better with the customers. This customer segmentation helped us to even send information, personalized communication to the customers. So this would also help the populace as well, right? By educating the youths, help them to be able to know how well they can use data to make their decisions. Because this will really help us to go far if we want to go far. If we really want to go beyond normal people, if we really want to progress like the other continents are progressing, it will be very, very important for us to also make use of data, because it will help us to make to be advanced. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the insightful thought. In building on that, Mr. Rubin, building on what Madam Esther's has said, from a legal and technological perspective, how is AI transforming industries in Africa, and particularly in law, and how is it coming and curbing the underserved regions to aim for data inclusion, and or rather the digital divide?
Thank you, Tracy, for that question. When you talk about AI in Africa, well, AI in general, when we're talking about AI in general, AI marks the beginning of the fourth industrial revolution. And that is very key because you see, the world has gone through 3 industrial revolutions. And of those 3 industrial revolutions, Africa has been in the peripheral of these 3 revolutions. It began with the first one, the steam engine, that was around the 18th and 19th century. At the time, Africa mainly provided the human capital and the resources to help the Americas and the European continent to actually grow and develop their facilities. The second one was electricity. Africa also was kept by this revolution. You see, this was mainly around the scramble and partition of Africa. And the second revolution was strictly mostly about electricity and the disbursement of electricity throughout the European, the Asian, and the American continents. And at this time, Africa was dealing with a much, much heavier problem. I don't think that is for discussion today. The third one came now. The third one was information technology, which we have mobile phones and internet. You see, internet and mobile phones, Africa was able to participate in this. Although, admittedly, we are still behind in terms of how this has been integrated throughout the continent. Particularly when I speak about Kenya, Kenya is actually in the forefront in terms of internet connectivity, and not just internet connectivity, but also how affordable the internet is in Africa in regards to other countries and states and the continent as a whole. But we have been able to be part of that. But now we're in the fourth industrial revolution, and this one will mostly be around artificial intelligence, robotics, and will mainly be centered around a form of intelligence that is not just human, but which can augment human capabilities. Now, artificial intelligence and the fourth industrial revolution will particularly be the area where Africa will be able to probably move faster, because we will be able to because we have been able to skip the other revolutions. In this time and age, I think we are positioned very well to be able to take advantage of this technology. Look, for example, in a recent report that was done in June of this year, of the 800 million monthly active users of ChatGPT, Kenya was ranked the very first in the world in adoption and use of ChatGPT. What does that mean in terms of how this relates to Africa? I mean, it means that Africans are eager to use this technology. They are eager to utilize the capabilities of this new technology. And we're in the forefront. We are beating countries like the United States, Europe, Asia, name it. We are among the top in the world in leading the adoption and use of this technology. AI will and has transformed many sectors and industries in the continent. I'll start with fintech. We have seen banks, especially Equity Bank here in Kenya, which has talked about how artificial intelligence has helped them in fraud detection. We have seen AI being able to educate, or rather to be able to be utilized to help people to get access to these financial services. In agriculture, and agriculture is the backbone of the economy of Africa, artificial intelligence will play a very major role in agriculture because one, information is key. Information is power, and with artificial intelligence comes the ability to disseminate this intelligence to anyone with internet connectivity in any corner of this continent. That comes legal and justice systems where I particularly work around and am actively involved. One of the biggest issues in access to justice is the knowledge, or rather just the information about what the law is and what the layperson needs to know about what their rights are, what their responsibilities and duties are as a citizen. In last year, June of last year, Kenya had particularly unrest in terms of the Kenyan youths, particularly the Gen Zs, had a big issue with the finance bill that was being passed by Parliament at the time. And AI played a very big role in this period because using AI, young people, most of them who have never even studied the law, were able to use this technology to understand the fine print of this bill. They were able to analyze it. They were able to scrutinize it for its loopholes and some of the problems that it had entrenched in it. And this, of course, fortunately or unfortunately, caused a lot of disarray in the country. And this is a signal to the entire continent that using AI technology, we'll be able to disseminate information much more broadly than we have ever been before. I talk to my friends and I often tell them that I've seen most of us here are Christians. In the Bible, they talk about the Tower of Babel and how the people who are trying to build a tower that would reach the heavens. And they were stopped because of one thing, a language barrier. And that is one of the biggest issues we have in Africa. We have thousands and thousands of dialects. We have so many languages that I don't think I could finish counting in the next 1 hour or so. And one of the things that AI will be able to help us achieve is to be able to understand each other in terms of language. I have seen Kenya particularly have language models that are trained on local language and local dialects, and they can be able to perform the same capabilities as the English-speaking or French-speaking LLMs or large language models. And this will help a lot in translation. It will help a lot in communication. It will help a lot in basically being on the same playing field when it comes to growth and understanding the next areas of development. So AI will play very, very many roles. But most importantly, I think it will come to education, because you see, education, before any continent or any state grows, education has to be the first, it has to be one of the main factors that actually makes that growth come to be. And with the rise of these technologies, specifically artificial intelligence, everybody will have the equivalent of an Albert Einstein, the equivalent of Isaac Newton, the equivalent of the greatest physicists and biologists of our time in their pockets, or whether they have an internet connectivity. And actually, some technologists actually in Africa are working on AIs that can be able to be accessed without internet. So with this kind of capabilities, we'll be able to educate our populace. We'll be able to educate our citizenry on not just the basic educational pillars, that is physics, mathematics, and so on and so forth, but on key issues such as agriculture, such as information technology, such as basic literacy. I think AI will play a very, very big role. And as a law student, as a legal professional, I think it is very key that we understand how this technology works, because one of our duties, or rather the reason we go to study the law, is so that we can be able to translate it and explain it to the citizenry or to the lay people. And so it will be very key for us to understand that our goals and our opportunities will not lie on just understanding and explaining the law, because we are more informed than ever before in the history of humanity. It will go into service delivery, customer relationships. How well can you relate with people? How well can you network? So that will be very, very key in the next few years. And I am very hopeful in terms of how this technology will impact access to justice, and more importantly, the growth of Africa as a continent. I am a Pan-Africanist by heart, and I believe this is the technology that will bring us to a united Africa. Thank you for the question, Tracy.
Thank you so much for your provoking thoughts, and basically for telling us in details about the stages of industrial revolution, from where it started in stage 1 about the steam engine up to now the 4th stage on artificial intelligence. Thank you so much. And also the impact of technology, and you being able to see where the continent is going and seeing its growth in the future through the digital impact. To add on that, how can your work on AI-empowered legal research like Sharia search enhance governance and justice for 1 million citizens as part of the AU good governance aspiration? You have given us a few of the importance, which was aiding in communication. Maybe you can go ahead and expound more on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So basically, Sharia Search is a platform that aids legal professionals to conduct their legal work, specifically legal research, faster, more efficiently, and more effectively. You see, in a recent study done by the American Bar Association in the US, it stated that legal professionals who utilize AI tools to do their legal research actually save between 210 to 300 hours a year. That is very key. Secondly, a study done by Clio, a legal practice management tool in the United States, it stated that in 2023, only 13% of legal professionals were actually using artificial intelligence in their workflows. Compare that to 2024, where up to 87% of legal professionals that was tested in that study were utilizing AI in their practice. Now, I know these are studies in another continent, but I do imagine that the numbers are not far off here in our continent. So with tools like Sharia Search and so many others, I have seen trying their best to actually improve the way we practice law. So the idea around Sharia Search, iFarm, and all these tools that legal professionals are building is not just to aid in helping efficiency. And yes, that's what I've said we're trying to do, but it's basically to rethink how we practice, how the practice of law is actually conducted. You see, for centuries, the practice of law has been mainly a pyramid sort of practice where we have very many junior professionals at the bottom and very few at the top. And the allocation of resources would also fall in the pyramid structure, which inherently I feel is not the best way we can do law. Now, this is what AI will do. AI will augment the modern lawyer. And I say this very many times, AI will not replace lawyers. Lawyers who use AI will replace lawyers who do not. And it's very key to understand this because as legal professionals, and specifically young ones, I know the Federation of African Law Students will probably have a lot of Gen Zs. We are primed and very well positioned to utilize this technology to change how the practice of law is done. And this is going to take a lot of doing, of course, but we can rethink the system of law. We can rethink how access to justice is actually delivered. And it is one, by building tools like Sharia Search. Two, it is by being multidisciplinary and not just being a lawyer for lawyers' sake. I think we are beyond that, and we are moving from the specialists world to a more generalist world. I particularly try to train legal professionals, and mostly young ones, on how they can think or be multidisciplinary. How can you get into data and data privacy? How can you get into AI? How can you get into startups? How can you merge the skills and the skills that you're taught in law schools, that is legal analysis, legal understanding, to merge into other industries and actually make impacts? How can we utilize the training that we have to actually change the way justice is delivered in our continent? And when it comes to the United Nations and the goals, the goals that we have there, I think it is key for us young professionals to actually start thinking beyond the classroom. Think beyond the huge textbooks and the constitutional laws textbooks, and actually start thinking how we can deliver justice to our communities directly, utilizing this and more technologies that we have at our disposal. So I hope I've been able to go deeper into that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, you have explained in detail, and I know that in this undertaking that AI will not replace lawyers per se, but it will represent lawyers who do not use AI. Lawyers will now be using the AI systems. And also, it will make us rethink how access to justice is delivered. Literally, that's the importance of the Sharia Search as one of the AI tools. Madam Esther, based on Mr. Robin's insights on this, there are some challenges that are being scaled in legal tech adoption across AU member states. How can data literacy programs be tailored to address these disparities so that they can support the 1 million agenda?
would help us. So we need to show that data literacy is not just for the analysts, it's not just for those that are interested in data analysis, those that want to go into data science, those that want to go. So it's not strictly for them. So we need to ensure that we need to show people, law professionals, right, law students, we need to show them that it is not, data literacy is not just for analysts, so it's for everyone. And I remember I explained the other time how data can help us to make informed decisions. Without using data, we are just making decisions on an empty ground, right? So that's why it is very, very important for us to ensure that everyone knows how to use data for their decision making. So it's for policymakers, it's for entrepreneurs, and it's also for students, right? And for instance, a policymaker that understands data literacy can see beyond numbers, right, into actual insight. It will help them to know whether a rise in youth employment is sustainable or just seasonal. And that's the first thing. And I think another thing is to position it as a development tool. We should link data literacy to Africa's growth agenda, and that's what it is being done right now, and that's why this initiative is being put into place. Financial inclusion, healthcare, education, governance in all aspects, it needs to be linked to data literacy. If small businesses in Kenya understands data literacy, they can track sales patterns, they can adjust their stock, and that is how it can help. And that micro level growth helps to scale to national inputs, right? Impact from small businesses, it will also help us to straight. And another thing is to emphasize empowerment and accountability. That this is very, very, very important. Data literacy will empower citizens to ask the right questions. There was an article I posted today, how to think as a data analyst. Like I said before, it's not until you want to learn or you want to become a data analyst. It's not until you decide to become a data scientist. It's for everybody. So data literacy helps us to empower citizens to ask the right questions. If you're a data analyst, you ask the right questions. You ask why this is happening. You ask why youth empowerment, youth empowerment or youth employment is whether it's going to be sustainable or whether it is going to be seasonal. So this, having this data literacy or putting them into everything that we're doing, into in all these initiatives, will help us to ask the right questions. And I think another thing I would say is local and relatable touch. Data literacy to things that we already know, that they already know, wherever you are right now. And it has already been explained earlier, as a lawyer. So aside from thinking of these things, you should also ensure that data, there is ethical literacy. You understand how people make use of data. You understand how policies are made as regards to data. You understand how data is protected, how data privacy, and all these things. This will help you to know. This will help us to ensure that we are also inculcating data. We're adding data into everything we are doing, right? And I think another thing I would say is, even while in school, you are currently in the universities. I don't know if everyone here, sorry, majority of the people here, I don't know if they are students, but as you are in school, for those that are students, right? As you're in school, also ensure that you will learn data analysis. Ensure that you learn how to think with data analysis, because without data, decisions will not be made correctly. Without data, we cannot plan for jobs. Without data, education reforms are guesswork. Without data or data literacy, entrepreneurs, they build in the dark. Without data, engagement with people is just normal talk. So that's why it is very, very important for us to implement it. Yeah, thank you very much. Into our initiatives. I don't know if you heard. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Uh, I think everyone has gone with a takeaway home from there, that everyone should learn data analysis so that they can curb the challenges that is in scaling uh, in the technological space, or rather us entering into the digital age. Uh, as we finalize, before we go to the question and answer session, I'll give some 5 minutes to Mr. Robin to do a presentation. Thank you.
Hi. I was not planning to do a presentation today, but rather, let me conclude by saying a few words because I see our time is also almost done. I think just to emphasize on my last words in the previous question I was posed, I think it's key for us as legal professionals, particularly young ones, to think multidisciplinary. As Esther has said, think about data, learn data. Data is how we make good decisions. Learn about artificial intelligence. Learn about automation. I was to make a presentation on an automation tool that I use a lot called make.com that you can use and start leveraging today to build automations. These are the skills that are going to set you apart when you go to the market. Once you graduate, once you are admitted to the bar, these are the skills that will set you apart in the new industrial age. It is not enough that you learn the law. It's not enough that you go to law school. I have done that. And yes, indeed, there is enough space to practice the law. But niche down until it pains, and then niche in some more. It is important that we go beyond the classroom, as I said. It is important that we think and position ourselves in the future. And finally, I'll recommend 2 books for all young lawyers in the group. And this will do you a lot of justice if you read them. One is Tomorrow's Lawyers by Richard Susskind. Richard gives an analysis of where the legal profession is going. And Richard is an advisor to the judiciary, to the I don't know what they call it in the UK, but he's an advisor on artificial intelligence in the UK for a very long time. He has been building expert systems for a long time, and he has a way of explaining where the world is going in terms of technology, specifically in our profession. And if you do not have a copy, I will share my details in the chat, and I will share that copy with you. Read that book. It will show you why we need to change, how we are going to change, how you should position yourself. The second, and importantly, if you want to learn more about artificial intelligence, specifically where it's going, I recommend this book, The Singularity is Nearer. That is a very key book because it gives you a perspective on the past, the present, and the future. It gives you a perspective on where this technology is headed from today henceforth. And I just want to thank the Federation of African Law Students, both in West Africa and East Africa, for organizing this timely discussion. This is a very key discussion. In terms of positioning, it's key for us to actually think beyond the normal course outlines that we have, because, and I know Dr. Charles Oguki, who is actually a lecturer of law at the universities here in Kenya, will tell you that some of the things that we learn are probably behind in terms of how fast these technologies are moving. And it is important that we have our ears on the ground so that we can understand how these technologies are going to be leveraged in the coming days. So with that, I'll leave you. Go to make.com, go to YouTube. You'll get hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos, and you can start learning today. And that's the skill of the future. 2, read Tomorrow's Lawyers. If you don't get if you can't have a copy, reach out. And 3, The Singularity is Nearer. That is also a very key book. And finally, I'll recommend that you join communities of like-minded individuals who actually share some of these ideas and who talk about some of these technologies. I particularly run one. It's called Lawyers on the Cutting Edge, and it's a community we've been building over the past year, and it's a very fast-growing community where it's mostly for legal professionals. We talk about AI and emerging technologies and how they impact our profession. So I will share a link to the group. If you're interested, you can join us, and we actually share a lot there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Robin, and thank you, Madam Esther, for the excellent insight, aligning with the webinar's concept of empowering 1 million Africans through digital positioning. And with that, I'll open the floor for question and answer. Please, you can raise your hand or put your question in the chat box. Thank you. Dr. Charles, you can go ahead.
Well, first and foremost, I thank all of you and especially the organizers of this forum. I was hoping to rob and steal a few minutes from my learned colleague, Robin Mutiga. We've been through a number of sessions like this before. Well, if I were given time, I would wish to take less than 2 minutes or one to put across some mind-boggling kind of issues. It is good we are thinking law, it's good we are thinking artificial intelligence as powered by machine learning. It's also excellent that we are thinking data, especially information extracted from data, to guide our key decisions. I love the quote by Robin that in the very near future, starting now, AI may not replace advocates or the attorneys, but the attorneys who are not using AI will be replaced definitely by those who use AI. As we think and digest that, I would really wish that we think about this element of AI. You know, IT and digital systems are foreign tools. They were imported into the realms of Africa, and we adopt them in doing so many things, now law inclusive. What baffles my mind is the key tenets of AI, where AI is built, the languages that are used in doing this kind of programming, especially the Python. And then when we come to the bigger bit of it, the operating systems, whether open source or proprietary like the Microsoft, all these things, they do not belong to us. And now when we embed the same into the entire sea of internet, the internet again, if you go to Europe, the Caribbean, US, and all those white men countries, minus Africa, they still talk of internet. And mark you, in African continent, minus a link of this continent to those other continents, we do not talk of internet. If in Nairobi, I can reach Accra in Ghana, and I can reach Lagos, Addis Ababa, or Johannesburg, that would not be a lot of internet to me. But those other people, minus the content of Africa, they are in the internet. As without them, no internet. And that speaks to one area, the servers that provide this data for training our AI. As things stand right now, most of the data, information, research outputs, which are used to train the AI, are much and more of coming from the West. The operating system, programming software, and all these nitty-gritties, embedment of software and hardware, which we rely on on our digital systems to empower and propel economic growth via ICT and via legal systems, are so much dependent on the West. I was happy when one of the speakers talked about developing AIs that are going to be dependent on African data minus the internet, so that without internet, you have your own data and you can rely on them. That is going to help us. My worry is over-reliance on these Western platforms, Western operating system, Western programming languages that make the AI and machine learning to operate, upon which these systems are trained, may seriously lead to skewness. We've talked about industrial revolutions, the first, second, and third. We are now talking about fourth. And it's right to point out that Kenya has been ranked the first in adoption and use of ChatGPT, which is an example of AI tool. But now come to think of it, are we leading in creation or are we leading in usage? If we are leading in usage, just like motor vehicles, just like processed coffee, we are going to become the market for these producers wherever they are. So as we think of adoption and use of AI in this digital platform to empower the legal profession, let us think of these nitty-gritties and nuances of technological development and ask ourselves, where do we fit, users or producers? To what extent are we involved in the engineering aspect of this software and hardware empowering AI, than to the extent to which we are involved as users and potential buyers and consumers of these particular systems? I am, as been pointed out, Dr. Charles Oguk. I lecture in Rongo University in Kenya. I lecture ICT and digital systems, CRAM, ICT and engineering law. So I would really wish to play a bigger role if given opportunity in this Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africanist movement in the legal space. Thank you so much, and sorry if I've taken more than expected time. Asanteni.
Thank you so much, Dr. Charles. You are insightful and so impactful, and as we will pound on whether we are creating a market for the artificial use, according to us being ranked among the top users, or rather, are we going to like renovate or come up with the artificial product? Having been said, and Dr. Charles' insights being so impactful, I'll wish for Madam Esther and Mr. Robin to add maybe a few words on it, just in 1 minute each.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said on Dr. Charles' presentation, which was so impactful, I would like for you and Mr. Robin to add a 1 minute thing to it. Just, yeah.
Maybe what I could add is just to echo what the good doctor has said. Yes, we are positioning ourselves as users of this technology, which is quite unfortunate. I think it is important that we start thinking about developing tools for us, by Africans, for Africans, and this will start with the skill set. I think that is where our biggest problem is, in terms of the skill set that is required to build these technologies. I think there has been enormous brain drain from the African continent. Our best and brightest actually work in Europe, in the Americas for various reasons. But I think the very first step we can take towards the direction of actually building these technologies in-house is actually building the framework with our human resource capabilities. So it's key that I know most of us here are in the legal professionals field. We are not specifically software engineers, or rather we are not algorithm engineers who build AI technologies, but it's key that we understand how these technologies work. There are very many open source tools that we can start using to train our own models. I think like 15, I think to 20 African states have already launched an AI strategy, and more are actually working towards that. And I think that is a good step. And as we move towards that direction, let us think about empowering ourselves in terms of understanding how these tools work, understanding how we can leverage these tools so that we can actually start developing these tools for us, rather than just being consumers of the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That both on Dr. Charles' presentation, in Mr. Robin's presentation, and Madam Esther's presentation. Let's understand the language in the tool used in artificial intelligence, so that we don't only be consumers, but also the producers. Thank you. I'm going to allow one or two questions from the audience before we wrap it up. If you have a question, you can raise your hand or you can leave the message in the chat box. Yes, Madam Esther.
Okay, hi Tracy once again. So I think what I would like to add is that a lot of things have been said today already. So one thing I would challenge every one of us is just for us to learn one digital skill before the year runs out. So we have like 4 months to go: September, October, November, December. So we did not, I don't think this program or this event was organized for us to just talk and then go or while away our time. No. So this program, this initiative was brought up because I believe they want every one of us to be better, right? So I challenge every one of us to learn one digital skill before the year runs out. We talked about data literacy, learning how to think like a data analyst, learning how to make decisions with data, even though we are not data analysts, right? And we also talked about artificial intelligence, learning how to use an AI tool. We have a lot of AI tools out there. We have ChatGPT. How do you prompt ChatGPT? You don't just ask questions ordinarily. ChatGPT will respond to you based on how you prompt it. So learning how to prompt, that's prompt engineering as well, makes you to be a better person. And then learning other tools. We have a lot of tools out there, AI tools that helps us to be better, that helps us to be smarter, even making better decisions. So these are the things that I would leave every one of us with. And then the another thing is for us to be a voice to push for fair and ethical data law in Africa. We should be a voice, tell others about being literate digitally, being literate as a data person, being a data literate and all that. And then don't just see yourself as a future lawyer or future professional, but see yourself as a guardian of Africa digital future. So we are a voice. We are a voice. We are not just striving to become a lawyer. We're not just striving to become a professional. Let me just get this job and then that's it. No, let's strive to make Africa a better place to be. So I think that's what I want us to implement every single thing that has been spoken about today. Let's go back and be better people, better than the way we came here. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I give thank you for the insightful insights, let's all take up the challenge and learn one digital skill before the end of the year. That's a good advice for us, all of us here. Let's not this just be a talk. Let it impact our lives. Before I give Dominic a chance to speak, I'll read question in the chat box, which have been posed to our speakers by Dr. Charles. Is asking, how can I be part and parcel of this movement to ventilate much on data science, AI, and the law? I'm also a lawyer by training. To our panelists, I'll start by Mr. Robin, then Madam Esther.
I'm not sure that question is directed to us, but rather to Palas. But I know Dr. Charles, we have actually worked together in educating legal professionals on IT, AI, among other things. And I think the first step we can all take is to just, ignorance is the problem. We have seen this technology being used in bad ways, in good ways, and it all starts with knowledge. So in whatever part you can play in disseminating information, I think that will go a long way and it will have network effects at the end of the day.
Thank you so much. To Dr. Charles. I'll answer the question. We'll share our our group link. We'll share our group link in the chat box, and also at the end of it, our country director shall give more direction on that. Thank you. Before we finish, I'll give Dominic a chance to ask his question. Dominic, you can go ahead. Mr. K, your hand is up.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Please, can you hear me? Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
Okay, my name is Okike Dominic Chukukodi. I'm the newly elected media head for Falas West Africa. So I will be directing my question to Madam Esther. So I have actually listened to her eloquent speech and those areas of skills that she mentioned that we should try to imbibe before the ending of this year. So my question now is, are there measures or are there measures whereby we can acquire those skills? What do I mean? I mean, are there some measures that have already been provided, like something like a soft, let me just say, somewhere that we can easily access those materials, so that we in this economy that we are into, one can hardly get into those skills because it's very expensive, to be able to imbibe such skills. So now my question is, are there ways whereby we can get those courses, online courses? I don't know whether you get my question.
Yes, I got it correctly. Okay. Okay, so thank you very much for that question. So let me say I'm a data advocate, right? I love sharing resources to people. You can check you can search for my name on LinkedIn, Esther Anagu. You will see that I've shared a lot of resources. So, like you said, yes, there are practical ways in which you can acquire skills and free of charge without paying anything. So, the world is evolving, and there are a lot of platforms where you can get these skills for free instead of paying. If you go on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of videos, free videos, free great creators that create and post resources that would help you to acquire these skills. I will also have platforms like W3 Schools. W3 Schools is a free platform as well that would also help you to acquire the tools, the necessary language or syntax tools that we use in the data analysis field. I think these are the different things, but the first thing is just go to on YouTube, search for those platforms. For the videos. Then you can go to search for W3 Schools. It's a platform that offers free resources that would also help you to acquire these digital skills. Thank you, and they are free.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I'll give a minute to Dr. Charles before we end the question and answer.
Briefly,
I know.
just clarification from Esther. She talked of a school. I did not get the name of the school. Is it
Okay. Okay, W3 Schools. I'll type it. I'll send it to the chat. Okay, I've sent it. Please check it now.
Oh, thank you. W3 Schools, thank you.
Thank you so much. I know there are most people who have been answered on the same on how to find the sites on how to be able to learn the digital skills. As we wrap it up, I'll pass it to Mr. Gesimba, the country director of Falas Kenya, to give the closing remarks.
All right. Please confirm that you indeed can hear me and perhaps see me.
Yes, we can hear you and see you.
All right. Thank you. So
It's just been a glaring, impressive event, and I'm completely short of words. So let me just throw in my appreciation and then we'll wrap it up. I'd like to appreciate our brilliant speakers, Mr. Robin and Madame Esther. You know, they normally say that if you engage with a sum of people, then you become the mean average of them. You know, if you engage with three fools, you become the fourth fool. So now that I've engaged with the great mind of our senior Mr. Robin and our senior Madam Esther, I believe even if I am not great yet, then my mind is on the pathway to being great. They've shared very important insights that will remain timeless, you know, and I'm really grateful to them. Thank you so much, Madam Esther, and thank you so much, Mr. Robin, for heeding to the call and coming here to give us some of your great wisdom and dispense the guidance and mentorship that you have today. I really hope that we can maintain the networks that we have begun to build and that they will not falter as we walk into our various professions and lines of duty. I'd like to really appreciate Mr. Okike, a very good friend of mine, Director West Africa. We've been through lengths and we're also going to experience a little bit more. Watch out for our virtual summit next month. It's coming up. Our moderator has done a very great job. Thank you, Tracy. And I know this is only the beginning. We've seen a number of questions from Dr. Charles Oguk, a very fine gentleman. He's actually my classmate. I'm privileged to be a classmate to a doctor. So about how you can join the movement, I will give you a comprehensive side chat and I will ensure that your needs are adequately met. We'll probably even invite you as a speaker to one of our activities or events. So to everyone else, thank you so much for finding the time to join in. This is a collaboration between the Federation of African Law Students in West Africa and the Federation of African Law Students in Kenya. FALAS West Africa and FALAS Kenya thanks you and wishes you a fantastic night and a brilliant September. I hereby declare this webinar closed. Thank you so much.